Hey everybody, it's Nat C Jones here with Nat C Company, and I'm a Master Facilitator, and I am here to talk to you today about how to know when it's time to leave your job and start your business. Let's do it. Okay, so if you are working on a job and it's been burning inside of you, you have this idea for a business and you're afraid, your heart flutters when you think about it, your hands sweat, you're actually on the job doing work for the business because you can't even concentrate, and all of these things are happening. It's because you are what I like to call an employee-preneur. That's what you are, an employee-preneur. An employee-preneur is someone who is transitioning from an employee to an entrepreneur. Kind of treated like puberty. You know, the first couple signs of puberty, your voice changes, it starts to crack, you start to smell a little differently, you get a little more emotional, your body's change, you can feel it. It doesn't all happen at once, it's gradual. The same thing with being an employee-preneur. You will start to notice some things when it's time for you to make that transition. Here's one thing that you'll notice that it's really hard for you to focus when you're on your job. All you can think about is this business that you want to start. And you're sitting in meetings and they're talking about things and you're daydreaming, and then they call your name and you have to go, oh yeah, I agree. Yeah. And you have no idea what you just agreed to. That's one sign that you're an employee-preneur. Another sign that you're an employee-preneur is that you've actually created a plan for your business. Now, I would never suggest that anyone leave a job to start a business if they have not created a plan or at least started to develop their business. So if you've created a business plan, you've thought about your competition, you've thought about your clientele, you've thought about products and services that you want to offer, and you are just invigorated by the idea of launching your business, and you even thinking about an exit strategy of when you're going to leave and when you're going to start. That means you're an employee-preneur. So there are several signs that you're an employee-preneur and that you are thinking that you're ready to leave your job to start a business, but you may not actually be ready until you have a couple things in place. So I want to talk about some of those right now. Number one, starting your business is risky. And depending on where you are, what the industry is, you may have more competition than you may be expecting. There's some resources that you need to have in place to start a business. So how much do you have in your savings? Are you taking out a business loan? What are you going to do to handle the expenses of your business and your living expenses with your salary gone? So I would suggest, before you make that leap, I'm not even going to say I would suggest, I would beg you, before you take the leap to start your business, that you have at the very, very least 6 months worth of business and living expenses saved. Now, this is separate from the savings you already have. This is a specific savings for your business. 6 months of living expenses, 6 months of business expenses on top of the savings you already have. I would prefer 12 months, but 6 months is the bare minimum because it's going to take you a while before you can create revenue with your business. Now, if you've already started to work on the side and bring in a stream of income while you're working on the job, that's even better. I would still say you need at least 6 months of expenses saved up. I made my jump from being an employee to an entrepreneur full time in 2000. I think it was 2018. 2017, I've always been an employpreneur. So I've always had a side business and a job. And the only time that I had ever before the jump been a full-time entrepreneur was when I was unemployed and didn't want to be unemployed, and I had no choice but to start a business. So I've been a full-time entrepreneur before, but not under the same conditions as someone who was fired or laid off or anything like that, because I've been fired, I've been laid off, and had to start a business because I needed income. But this time I created a plan and I made the jump intentionally, not because I was in danger of losing my job, just because I was ready to start my business. I had my 6 months of savings saved up, and I had some clients waiting for me as well. So that's what I would also suggest. Don't just jump out cold. Start working on your business while you're an employee and during your extra time, which means you're not going to have a lot of free time. But how important is your business to you? Turn the TV off and put down the phone. No more conversations that just waste up hours of your time. You need to be creating a website. You need to be creating a price list. You need to be calling people and getting clients while you're on the job. Now, don't do it while you're supposed to be working, but you can do it on the weekends. You can do it when you're off, whenever you're not working and it's daytime. When you're not working for your employer, you need to be working to build your business so that when you make the jump, it's less risky for you. Okay? Those are the main two things that you need to have in place before you go from being an employee to a business owner. I will get into this a little bit more in another video, in upcoming videos, about the specific steps that you can take so that you leave your job without burning a bridge, and you can actually potentially be asked back as a contractor to that job or create a contract out of your employer. You can turn your employer into a client. Did you know that? I used to work for city government, and I did such a good job when I worked for them. Once I left, they still wanted me to do some of what I used to do. And what I did for them was a part of the services that I offered in my business. So coming back as a contractor and them having to pay me differently was very interesting. I 100% enjoy being a contractor more than an employee because I have more control over my time, and they just treat you different than they treat an employee. So don't fight the feeling. If you know that it's time for you to start your business, start getting prepared right now. Start making the calls. Start working on the plan. Start saving the money. Stop eating out so much. Stop shopping. Whatever you have to do to bring your expenses down so you can create a pool of a cushion that you can jump on when things get tough. Because I promise you, at some point, it will get tough as you're building your business for the first time and once you're full time. So you want to give yourself as much of a cushion as you possibly can so that you can sleep at night and still feed yourself and your family. This is just part one of how you know when it's time to move from employee to business owner. Hopefully the information was valuable to you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.